लें जी, ये थे हम जा रहे हार्बिन, और साउथ एशियन कल्चर है हमारा कि हमारे दोस्त हमें फेयरवेल करने साथ में आए थे। ये जो अगली क्लिप में आपको खातून दिख रही है, इन्होंने हमारी बहुत मदद की है होटल ढूंढने में, इनको इंग्लिश भी आती थी। ये जी हम होटल पहुंच गए थे, रात सो लिया था, और सुबह में हम लोग ये बाहर का नेबरहुड देख रहे हैं। कुछ ऐसा नेबरहुड सुनसान सा, सुबह 6-7 बजे की बात है। ये हम चल रहे थे हार्बिन में मौजूद वाहिद पाकिस्तानी रेस्टोरेंट को ढूंढने के लिए। हार्बिन वर्ड का मतलब है अ प्लेस फॉर ड्राइंग फिशिंग नेट्स, और एक मांचू वर्ड है, जैसे कि पूरा चाइना, उसमें सबसे ज़्यादा लोग हान लोग हैं, हान चाइनीज़ हैं। ये हार्बिन अपने पीछे जो इसकी इंडिजिनस पीपल्स हैं वो मांचू लोग थे, ठीक है, मंगोलियन के करीब कह सकते हैं उनको, लेकिन वो एक अलग एथनिसिटी है मांचू लोग। उनकी अपनी अलग डिस्टिंक्टिव लैंग्वेज थी। अब वो तादाद में चाहे बहुत कम है, लेकिन ये असल एरिया उन लोगों का था। ये साइबेरिया वाली पट्टी रशिया के साथ, और ये हार्बिन और ये हिलुंगजियांग प्रोविंस जो है, ये सर्दज़दा जो इलाका है, ये मांचू लोग यहाँ पे ज़्यादा थे। वहीं से वर्ड है मांचू लैंग्वेज का ही हार्बिन, यानी अ प्लेस फॉर ड्राइंग फिशिंग नेट्स। ऐसी जगह जहाँ पर जो फिशिंग नेट है, मछली पकड़ने वाले नेट हैं, उनको सुखाया जाता है। मछली पकड़ने वाला जाल, यार क्या हो गया, इंग्लिश सीखते सीखते उर्दू बोल रहे हैं हम। Hey man, yo boy, what is interesting about Harbin? Harbin is notable for its ice sculpture festival in the winter, being well known for its historical Russian legacy and architecture. The city is famed for its European influence and serves as an important gateway in Sino-Russian trade today. और हाँ यार, ये ना लोग इसका नाम गलत प्रोनाउंस करते हैं मोस्टली, जो हमारे फॉरेनर्स हैं, मतलब साउथ एशियंस, पाकिस्तानी इंडियंस। हरबिन हरबिन कहते हैं, हरबिन नहीं है, ये हार्बिन है। हार्बिन, अलिफ को लंबा करना, ठीक है, HAER, हार्बिन। हेलुंगजियांग प्रोविंस के बाकी शहरों की तरह हार्बिन जो कैपिटल है, यहाँ पर भी ज़्यादा आपको वेस्टर्नर्स नज़र नहीं आएंगे, मगरबी लोग नज़र नहीं आएंगे, अंग्रेज़ वगैरह काफ़ी कम तादाद में होते हैं। बस कुछ यहाँ पर इंग्लिश पढ़ा रहे होते हैं या चाइनीज़ सीख रहे होते हैं, अदरवाइज़ आपको नहीं मिलते। और इसकी ख़ास बात में से ये बात है कि यहाँ मैंड्रिन जो है वो बड़ी अच्छी वाली बोली जाती है, सेम वही जो बीजिंग का डायलेक्ट है, जो यहाँ की नेशनल लैंग्वेज है। चाइनीज़ का जो एक्सेंट है, डायलेक्ट है मैंड्रिन, वही यहाँ पर बोला जाता है। ये भी नॉर्थ चाइना में चूँकि आता है, तो दोंग बे ख्वा बोलते हैं ना, तो वो काफ़ी बिल्कुल वैसा है जैसा कि बीजिंग का है, जैसा कि नेशनल चाइनीज़ गवर्नमेंट का जो बोलने का तरीका है ज़ुबान का, वैसा ही है। बाकी ये है कि गर्मियों में भी कभी आएंगे यहाँ की सैर करने, अच्छे से प्रॉपर इसमें वॉक करेंगे, पैदल चलेंगे शहर में खूब जगहों पे, इसकी पेडेस्ट्रियन स्ट्रीट्स पर। और यहाँ पर खैर रशियन के अलावा जापानीज़ आर्किटेक्चर है, जूविश आर्किटेक्चर है, और चाइनीज़ आर्किटेक्चर तो यहाँ पर है ही है। तो अच्छी खासी इसकी जो एक वो रही है। इवन यहाँ अरब स्टूडेंट्स काफ़ी पढ़ते हैं, जो ना मतलब एक मशहूर भी स्टूडेंट है यहाँ पर, व्लॉगर भी हैं, वो भी यहाँ पर पढ़ते हैं। तो अरब्स भी काफ़ी, मतलब कहा जाता है कि हार्बिन में ना अरब्स हैं, बोला जाता है ये। You know, the winter may be freezing cold, but it makes up for it with the summers. Whilst everywhere else is way too cold, summers in Harbin are sunny, clear and beautifully 20 to 25 degrees. Not too hot, not too cold. And due to the Russian heritage in Harbin, you can also enjoy some Russian delicacies, either by getting ripped off on the large tourist street, the Chungyang Daje, or if you go near the central train station, there are several streets with markets selling Russian goods and other shops selling interesting trinkets at a reasonable price. Life is simple, laid back. You forget all about the complex things and learn to enjoy life here in Harbin. Harbin is cheaper than many Chinese cities of that size, especially the more famous ones like Beijing, Shanghai, Hong Kong, and Chongqing, etc. The people are much friendlier than in most other cities and happy to give directions or chat to foreigners. though probably not quite as exotic as when I was there. The older parts of the city, though much is now destroyed, are amazing as it has Russian, European, Japanese, and a few bits of traditional Chinese architecture. Being modern, none of this is all, but the Temple of Confucius is magnificent. The food is good, especially the northeastern, Dongbei specialty of Jiaozi, the dumplings, Baozi and Jiaozi. You will find a fairly wide variety of culture and arts there, as well as other forms of entertainment. As with anywhere, it depends what you are looking for and why you are going, but I loved my time there and prefer being there to almost anywhere else in China. Harbin has a nickname Ice City. Ice City. ICE, ice. The temperature usually less than minus 20 degrees in winter. But do not worry, it is very warm in the room, inside buildings. Harbin's central heating system is powerful, like in Chichihar. The city is also hot in summer, but the heat will not last too long, mainly from July to August. The average temperature will more than 25 degrees. Sometimes it will be more than 35 and near 40. Harbin is different from other Chinese cities which are located in northeast. This city was born because Russian chose here as the hub of the Middle East Railway, the Sino-Russian Railway, Russian. In the early days of Harbin, foreigners were more than Chinese. As you see, आगे से थे मनु सलवा पाकिस्तानी रेस्टोरेंट च वे ते इत्थे गोलगप्पे समोसे पकोड़े ते ये जी हमें मिला था हार्बिन स्प्रूस होटल SPRUCE. आप सर्च कर सकते हैं trip.com वगैरह पे, वहीं से हमने लिया था. ठीक था, 60-70 UN पर रूम था. हाँ ब्रो, आपको रूम मिल रहे हैं? अरे यार बहुत लीन हो गए यार, रूम नहीं मिलते यार. Russians came there around in 1917, as well as Jews came there, and more than 10 countries chosen here to set their consulates. While today Harbin has none consulate, they left many Russia-style buildings, churches in the city. Some of them today has become the city's symbol, such as Saint Sophia Cathedral. Harbin has a kind of sausage called red sausage. It tastes quite well. On Central Avenue or some other places you can also see many Russian restaurants. Winters, especially during January or February, Harbin is quite beautiful. The city will put many ice lanterns on streets, and the world of ice and snow opens annually. Winter is famous for its ice buildings, the ice sculptures. Some people crave nightlife, and there is some of that here. There are nightclubs, pubs, and disco clubs, the Russian bars, etc. Harbin is also called Eastern Moscow and the Paris of China for good reason. It's the China's Paris of the Orient. Hey, if you enjoy the flavors of German cuisine, Dongbei cuisine, the Harbin cuisine is going to be comfortably delicious. That is how I usually describe it to my Western friends or the American ones. How is China different from other South Asian countries? Public transport is extremely efficient here in China, and it is possible to live 20 to 25 minutes walking distance from your office or university. The pavements are nice, almost as nice as London, but much wider and safe. This leaves a lot of time to live one's life and follows one's pursuits outside the work. The parks and public squares are nice, big, well maintained, and aplenty. Unlike India and Pakistan, The people here are generally smart and intelligent, and I'm sure we would have had equally intellectually stimulating conversations if we could speak a common language fluently enough. So I find it liberating to live in China despite the language barrier. Even they are such nice to the professionals. The government or the media here in China does not keep reminding immigrants and foreigners that a favor is being done on them by allowing them to stay here. They seem to be extremely professional about it. They question, what do you have that we need? Do we need either your skills or your qualifications or your investments? If yes, then here is what we will give you in return. So I find it extremely fair, as I've talked to many expats here in China, Indian or Pakistani or the Germans even, and Russians. Moreover, being a Pakistani seems to be an advantage here, as I find Chinese people treating me better than any other nationality. They say Xiongdi, the brother, the Pathiye, the friendship, the brother, the steel like brothers, the steel like brotherhood. They say Phangyo. We are friends. We are very good friends, Pakistan and China. We the other South Asians have a lot to learn from the Chinese. Chinese should be our role models, we can say. Probably many of Chinese people like to watch our South Asian content, the Bollywood movies. China's infrastructure is close to US and Europe. No shortage of food and any other supplies. Law and order prevail everywhere. According to some, China copied the agricultural production, marketing and distribution system from South Korea and Japan back in 1960s. Of course, they would have modified the idea to suit the Chinese needs and would have introduced new ideas on top of it, and clearly it worked. China, they had solved the agricultural problem decades ago. Pakistan and India is still struggling. Chinese common folk tend to treat me as a person closer to them, than to the white founder. More like a fellow Asian and less like a typical Laowei. Russian is one of the officially recognized minority race in China. Most of them are probably descendants of the 200,000, 2 lakh Russian refugees who came to China during Russian Civil War. Most of them went back to Soviet after the war, but some decided to stay. Today, according to Wikipedia, there are roughly 15,000 Russian Chinese. Most of them were born in China and thus speak Chinese. Harbin has been a city of China since 1115, 1115. मतलब 1000 साल से ऊपर हो चुके हैं इसको बने हुए. 12वीं सदी में बना. Harbin has direct jurisdiction over 9 metropolitan districts, 2 county-level cities and 7 counties, and is the 8th most populous Chinese city according to the 2020 census, making it one of the 100 largest urban areas in the world. The Harbin local culture is based on Han culture combined with Manchu culture and Russian culture. As the center of winter sports in China, Harbin has hosted the 1996 Winter Asian Games and the 2009 Winter Universiade. Along these events, many famous winter sports athletes come from Harbin. Harbin has an indoor speed skating arena, the Heilongjiang Indoor Rink, opened in 1995. It is the oldest one of 7 in China. Harbin is one of the top 65 cities and metropolitan areas in the world by scientific research output as tracked by the Nature Index, as Harbin serves as an important military industrial base after PRC's foundation. It is home to several key universities mainly focused on the science and technology service of national military and aerospace industry. Soviet experts played an important role in many education projects in this period due to the threat of possible war with the Soviet Union. However, several colleges were moved southwards to Changsha, Chongqing and several other southern cities in China in the 1960s. Some of these colleges were returned to Harbin in the 1970s. The city hosts several major universities in northeast China, including Harbin Institute of Technology, one of the elite university of China, Harbin Engineering University, Harbin Medical University, Northeast Agricultural University, Harbin University of Science and Technology, Harbin Normal University, Northeast Forestry University, and the Heilongjiang University of Science and Technology. Notably, Harbin Institute of Technology is consistently ranked as one of the best universities in the world for engineering. HIT was ranked 5th globally in the best global universities for engineering by US News in 2022. The Russians selected Harbin as the base of their administration over this railway and the Chinese Eastern Railway Zone. The railways were largely constructed by Russian engineers and indentured workers. The Chinese Eastern Railway extended the Trans-Siberian Railway, substantially reducing the distance from Chita to Vladivostok and also linking the new port city of Dalne, and the Russian naval base of Port Arthur, the Lushan. The settlement founded by the Russian-owned Chinese Eastern Railway quickly turned into a boom town, growing into a city within 5 years. The majority of settlers in Harbin came from all over the Russian Empire. There were many Ukrainians, Poles, Jews, Georgians, and Tatars. During the Russo-Japanese War 1904 and 5, Russia used Harbin as its base for military operations in Manchuria. Following Russia's defeat, its influence declined. Several thousand nationals from 33 countries, including the United States, Germany, and France, moved to Harbin. 16 countries established consulates to serve their nationals, who established several hundred industrial, commercial, and banking companies. Churches were rebuilt for Russian Orthodox, Lutheran or German Protestant, and Polish Catholic Christians. Chinese capitalists also established businesses, especially in brewing food and textiles. Harbin became the economic hub of northeastern China and an international metropolis. Bye bye till the next documentary of China and Chinese cities. 再见。